Democrats, 3 Republicans found probable cause Musk violated election bribery law by offering $1 million to voters. So the Wisconsin election board, you don't believe them?
Yeah, I haven't seen any federal cases against Elon Musk for election rigging.
Oh, so if it's not a federal case, it didn't happen?
Mike Bloomberg.
Welcome to Political Crossfire. Today we're looking at a heated NewsNation clash between Chris Cuomo and far-right MAGA stooge Michael Knowles over Elon Musk, immigration, DOGE, government contracts, and whether MAGA applies the same rules to everyone. Cuomo presses Knowles on Musk's immigration history, his political influence, billions in government contracts, and allegations tied to election activity, while Knowles argues that Musk has been unfairly targeted and that his government work delivered real results. But the bigger issue is the double standard. Would an ordinary immigrant get the same benefit of the doubt if they had Musk's immigration history, political connections, and access to government money? Watch the full exchange, because afterward we'll break down the strongest claims, the contradictions, and whether Michael Knowles actually answered Chris Cuomo's central question. Before we begin, please subscribe to Political Crossfire and turn on the notification bell so you will not miss the next updates and to help the channel grow. Let's get into it.
In a 2009 deposition, Musk said he called the department chair 2 days into the semester, quit, then started Zip2, a company he later sold for $300 million. Every dollar, every ounce of power he has today goes back to that moment. So if MAGA just wants the law enforced, why does he get a pass? He's also the poster boy for the worst kind of privilege. If you're someone who believes that anyone here illegally is up to no good, then he's your poster boy. The Wisconsin Elections Commission, 3 Democrats, 3 Republicans, found probable cause Musk violated election bribery law by offering $1 million to voters in that Wisconsin Supreme Court race. How did the Trump administration respond? By giving him multi-million-dollar contracts. How did he respond to those contracts? By pledging to give over $100 million to Republicans the next day. But it doesn't end there. Don't forget DOGE. Gutted important programs, fell way orders of magnitude short of what he promised to cut. And now there are suspicions that it was all a smokescreen for his real ambition, handing Palantir access to some of America's most sensitive personal data. IRS, Social Security, DHS, HHS. What did they do with it? We don't know. That kind of power concentrated in the hands of the few should concern everyone. So if Congress wants to investigate somebody who seems to be doing as much as they can to compromise American lives, they got a much better target than someone who helped us through a pandemic. They should go after the guy who questions whether there ever was one. Now, that's my case. What is the counter? Joining me now, one of Musk's biggest supporters, Daily Wire host Michael Knowles. Make your witness.
Chris, I loved that magnificent monologue. The problem is it was all a bunch of nonsense. So to your first point that Elon Musk is an illegal alien, it's a funny joke that they made at a conference. But one, if Elon Musk were an illegal alien, Democrats would love him, and they manifestly do not. Second of all, he came here legally in 1995 to be a student. He dropped out eventually out of Stanford, and
eventually.
He was able to. No, he did work at it. He did drop out eventually. He took classes at Stanford, then he dropped out.
No, he dropped out immediately,
and
the visa was contingent on attending. Go ahead.
But Chris, here's the key. Elon was able to work, as students are able to work when they are students here. Now, it's true, there is this kind of gray area, but they worked it all out within 18 months. So he had a worker visa within 18 months. If he had committed anything even resembling immigration fraud, he would not have become a U.S. citizen in 2002. When it comes to his government contracting career, don't forget, he's been a government contractor since 2003. He's received $38 billion over the course of his 23-year contracting career. He's received it from Bush, from Obama, billions and billions of dollars under Obama, some under Trump as well. You ask what he got out of DOGE, which was generally quite successful. It was roughly as successful as Al Gore's very similar program, roughly as successful as the Grace Commission under President Reagan, which was also run by a guy in the private sector. But regardless, what did he get out of those HHS files? I'll give you an answer. He found out that there was $14 billion annually in Medicaid fraud. This was covered by Daily Wire's own Luke Rosiak. You can go read about it on the DW website.
They have found,
so he did a lot of good.
found Medicaid fraud every time they've looked. Anyone who looks finds it. You guys are not special. What is special is what he did with Palantir and opening up those databases. What is special is that it's the first time an amount of savings was predicted and promised, and you came nowhere close to it. The impact of those cuts, we'll see. But this guy just rigged the elections. He worked the immigration system. That's why he got through it, because he fraudulently got his way through.
Chris, how did he rig the
you
election?
don't hear what the
I thought we're
you
not
don't hear
election
what the
deniers.
Wisconsin election. So the Wisconsin election board, you don't believe them.
Yeah, I haven't seen any federal cases against Elon Musk for election rigging.
Oh,
I've seen
so
his
if it's not
spending
a
on
federal
par
case, it didn't
below
happen?
Mike Bloomberg's, below Tom Steyer's, both Democrat donors. So Elon Musk has donated a lot to elections. That's great. But don't forget this idea that Elon Musk has made money on politics. Elon Musk got decimated in his businesses because he got involved with DOGE in the campaign. The National Bureau of Economic Research says that Tesla sales were down by 83% because he got involved. That was tens of billions of dollars. We know that his X contribution to preserve free speech, he lost 75% on that.
It's also a crappy
He's
car.
lost a lot of money in politics.
It's also a crappy car. I had one. Okay, I think that's part of what's hurting Tesla also.
I
but
can't help
here's
but
what I'm
notice a
saying.
lot of people loved buying those cars until he got into politics.
This guy got through an immigration system that if he weren't a rich white guy from South Africa, he may be getting dragged out of his car to a traffic stop and getting his ass beat with people like you applauding.
Chris, you're saying he's an African American, so I think it contradicts your, police stop narrative here. Regardless, he got through under Bill Clinton.
Chris Cuomo is really getting at one basic question here. Are the rules actually the same for everyone? Because when the person involved is wealthy, powerful, and politically useful to the MAGA movement, suddenly all that tough talk about immigration enforcement becomes a lot more flexible. So obviously, Chris Cuomo is pointing out here to this goon, Michael Knowles, that they don't care whether Elon was here illegally or not because he's a rich white guy. He's a rich white nationalist, and these sicko fascists like Michael Knowles love that stuff. The rules that are supposed to apply to everyone somehow start looking very different when the person being questioned is Elon Musk. But think about the other side of this. Imagine the exact same situation involved an undocumented mother working long hours in a hotel, a restaurant, or a cleaning job, just trying to support her family. Do you honestly think Michael Knowles would be this relaxed about it? Probably not. The entire conversation would change. Then we'd hear about law and order. We'd hear about immigration fraud. We'd hear about how nobody should be above the law and how the rules have to be enforced. That's the hypocrisy Chris Cuomo was getting at. And the same contradiction shows up when they start talking about government money. Michael Knowles proudly points out how many billions of dollars in government contracts Elon Musk's companies have received over the years. But wait a minute, these are the same people who constantly preach about self-reliance, limited government, and how ordinary Americans shouldn't depend on government assistance. Apparently, government money becomes a problem when it helps struggling families. But when billions of dollars flow toward companies controlled by one of the richest men on the planet, suddenly that's just business. And that's why this debate is bigger than Elon Musk. It's about whether these political principles actually matter, or whether those principles change depending on who benefits from them. Chris Cuomo deserves some credit for pushing back on these contradictions, but I still think he could have pushed Michael Knowles much harder, especially when this conversation turned to immigration, DOGE, government contracts, and whether Elon Musk should be held to the same standards as everybody else. Because that's really the question here. Should Elon Musk be judged by the same immigration laws, ethical standards, and government accountability that MAGA demands for everybody else? Or do wealth, political connections, and loyalty to Donald Trump get you a completely different set of rules? What do you think who made the stronger argument? Share your opinion below, and subscribe to Political Crossfire for more political debates and analysis.